AI Demo Days, so thank you so much for having me. Thanks to the sponsors. I'm Max Drake. Follow me on Twitter, Blue Sky, if you want, if you like the demo. Um, I work for a little company called tldraw. I do product engineering and research there. And what tldraw does is we build an infinite canvas SDK. And what that means basically is that like, well, this is tldraw actually. You can see I'm using it right now. But what that means is that basically, like, if you're building an app that has a canvas or any kind of place where you're like manipulating things in 2D space, um, you like you can basically use tldraw as that canvas, and you can build the like actual important bits of the app on top of it. Um, but the canvas, it's a lot of engineering work, and so you can buy it instead of building it. I'm here to talk about something that we built on top of tldraw, something called Fairies. But first, I'm going to pull the room. Raise your hand. Has anybody ever used an app that looks like either of these? Surely, right? Surely, yeah. Okay. I do too. They're great, right? You kind of like you type what you want in there, and it does the thing that you want. Um, like super useful. But like I kind of have a hot take, which is that I think these interfaces kind of suck. Like I feel when I use these, I try to like take all my ideas, kind of like put them into the little box. I feel very constricted. I think that chat is like the wrong interface for agents. And surprise, surprise, I think that the canvas is the right interface for agents. Um, and but the thing is that like those apps, right? They're really good. Like you they do what you want to do, and it makes sense that they're really good because like the way that the LLMs that power those agents are trained is that it's like tokens in, tokens out, right? And that's exactly what chat is. It's like a linear text in, text out. Um, and I think that the canvas, I think that like the way that things are laid out in 2D space, I think it mirrors the way we think a lot better. I think it mirrors the way that we work. It mirrors the way that like our organizations are laid out a lot better. Um, but the thing is that like the AI, the agents aren't very good at understanding the canvas. And so at tldraw, we've been kind of like running a bunch of experiments to try to get AIs to understand the canvas, and because we want to build basically agents that work on the canvas. And so I'm going to take you through like a couple little projects that we've done, past, present, future, and you'll see what I mean. So the first thing that we had to do before like we could even think about agent stuff is that like we had to teach the LLMs about like what is the canvas, right? And so this is like a little drawing. I'm going to run this prompt first because it takes a second. So what I said is I said make the mouse blow out the candle. And like these are tldraw shapes. These are ellipses and circles and stuff. Like there's nothing that tells it that one of these is a candle. Oh, yeah, there we go. We got some breath from the mouse, right? Sometimes it gives you smoke. Oh, and there's a flame. So right, like, but there's no there's no special sauce here. This is just like the AI kind of like seeing the shapes on the canvas, understanding what that means, and then being able to output shapes or delete them, manipulate the canvas to kind of take my prompt and like execute on that, right? So we built this a while ago. This is like kind of the engine for getting the agents to understand the canvas. The next thing we did is we built something called the agent starter, which is like, let me get rid of the sidebar. So we have that like engine, right? And we kind of like built an agent harness around that. And I'm going to tell it to do this. I've had it draw some animals around the canvas. I'm going to tell it to like find the animals and then tell me what they are. Again, silly little like visual demo. But like the same way that like Claude Code navigates your code base or whatever when you tell it to do something, we kind of like gave the agent the ability to navigate the canvas. And so it kind of like, it knows where some of these things are, but it doesn't know like what they are. So it goes to like search around, and you can see there's like some to-do lists here. Oh, whoops. Whoa. Okay, yeah, there's like some to-do lists, right? And then so it's able to kind of like do like medium, like it can spec out the task, it can plan it, it can execute on it, and then it comes back to me and it's like, yeah, there's a penguin and an ostrich. Great job. And so and the reason why this looks exactly like Cursor, if you're wondering, is that like we basically wanted to build like the most like kind of the platonic ideal of like an agent that works on the canvas. It's kind of like the table stakes features. Like it needs to be able to plan, it needs to be able to move around. Like what is the most basic, like the first version of the agent that ever existed, but like transposed onto the canvas. And then once we built this and we were happy with this, we were kind of like, okay, like what's like the fully embodied, fully actualized version of agents on the canvas? Like, what do you look like if we actually make like an agent that was built from the ground up for the canvas? And that's where fairies come in, right? So what's a fairy? This is a fairy. Um, this is Joan, Joan Fiddle Snell. Um, our name generation is patent pending. But so this is Joan. You know, Joan lives on the canvas. I can say, hey, Joan, what's up? Um, and so I can customize Joan, uh, just hanging out. I can give Joan a different hat, for example. I can I can make the legs longer. Um, Super important. And like so, fairies are fairies are friendly. And this is important. The canvas also, I forgot to mention this earlier. The canvas is there's like native multiplayer built into it, so I could have. I was smart enough to give my colleague a link to this room. He could have joined, but and shown you. But so like fairies are friendly, and the canvas is like a collaborative space. And so oh yeah, I'll skip that one. I can summon some other fairies, right? We can have Dawn and Joyce, and I can kind of like select them all instead. I had one selected earlier. I asked Joan what was going on. Let me just say like, hey, do this, because it sees I have some text on here. We're doing very visual demos. They kind of translate better. But I'll follow one of them. But so basically, like the fairies are working together right now, and so we have one of them is kind of creating a plan, as you can see, and it's kind of like taking what I requested or what I asked, and it's breaking it into tasks. It's figuring out what should like the order that they should do it in, and then like the thing with the fairies is that they can prompt each other to like do things. And so basically there's this orchestrator, the leader agent, the leader fairy kind of like told the other ones what to do. And they're kind of like locked in and they're doing their thing now, right? And the thing I was saying before about the agent starter where we kind of like gave it the tools to like explore the canvas, the workers, they don't have those tools. They're like, when they're given a task, the task has like bounds associated with it, like an X and a Y and a width and a height. And they can't see anything outside of those bounds. So we compartmentalize the tasks into like these special, okay, what's next? Into like these special, okay, yeah. So the coordinator agent was basically just deciding like what, it was reviewing the work, and I think there's going to be some new stuff going on soon. But so basically like when one of the fairies finishes its task, then like it prompts the orchestrator, and it's like, hey, I'm done. You should review the work, right? And the interesting thing, right? You have like see one fairy kind of like hanging out right there, and that's even though there's a task left to do, but that's because the last task is like the scene integration and the final touches. So actually, kind of knows that it shouldn't be doing that one, shouldn't be doing those in parallel. But so basically, like we built multi-agent collaboration on the canvas, which I think is really cool. And yeah, so yeah, again, kind of like a silly little like toy example, right? But now, can I have time check? Cool. Now we're gonna go into the stuff. We're switching off of deployed version, and we're going into localhost. So you're gonna have to excuse all of the jank here. Don't scan that. Actually, no, scan that. If you want to scan this QR code, you can join. You can make an account. The fairies are kind of free right now. So you can use them, and that's the link to the other room, which you can fuck up my slides. I mean, you can mess up my slides if you want. But so like fairies, like again, the lore bit of the fairies development process was actually like we put a lot of effort into that, and then actually kind of the lore kind of ended up like informing some product decisions, and we decided that like fairies are like us, right? And they want to go on the computer. Like we do. And so we kind of gave the fairies each their own computer. Ignore the debug UI that's on the screen right now. I don't think I warmed up the sandboxes beforehand. Ah, yes. Okay, so where's one that has it? So yeah, each fairy kind of has its own computer, right? And so I'm gonna say, hey, I'm gonna say do this, right? It's gonna read the prompt and it's gonna see what's going on. I don't know about you. These guys are like they're a little mischievous. I wouldn't really trust them to like go on the computer on their own. So I'm gonna go on their computer too. Um, and I'm gonna be like, okay, it said it made a text. I'm gonna okay, it's got the tldraw repo in there too. That's good. But it's also got this friends.txt thing. Does it? Oh, I typed in the wrong one. Can I? Okay, cool. Yeah. So I'm logged onto the fairy's computer, and it's also logged on into its computer. Um, and but the thing I talked about earlier, right? There's this other app that we all like to do. Oh God, did too many people join? Is it working? Did anybody actually get in? Nice. Okay, something happened. But like everybody likes using. Okay, well we're going. Everybody likes using Claude Code, right? The fairies also like using Claude Code. Um, so the fairies also have access to like a coding agent. So the computer that I gave the fairies also has Claude Code on it. So I'm just gonna say do this. And this takes a couple minutes, so I think this is going to be like a good time for questions. I'll put the QR code here. Um, is that gonna? Okay, yeah, okay, cool. It went through. So basically, I prompted the Canvas agent, and the Canvas agent prompted its like computer agent, and now it's waiting for that to respond. Uh, because I also obviously I preloaded the Fairies computers with our repo on it. So it's going to explain how our state node architecture works, which is kind of like how we handle tools in tldraw. And then it's going to diagram it out for us. And hopefully it happens like while I'm not looking, and it's going to be really cool. Um, but so like all the stuff that you saw with the computers and everything, that's like what I've done in the last week. I think there's like a lot of really cool stuff you could do. I have like, oh my God, nice, did it work? Oh, I think it didn't work. Okay. But like, yeah, totally. But like, they're logged into my GitHub, right? Like they're so they could be. They're not yet. I'm not yet letting them do PRs for me, but that's like the next steps. Yeah, thank you.